Can we do a class action lawsuit against the Bengals front office? Because I'm pretty sure this is taking away years on our lives. This offseason has been the offseason from double hockey sticks, man. Anyway, so can Shemar Stewart go back to college? Because apparently I was actually confused about this myself. I thought it was like plain and simple. Yeah, he could, whatever. I read online, and by the way, frustrating enough, I read like 3,000 different articles of people explaining this, and every single person explains this differently, which I don't understand how. But after doing like 3 hours of reading everything, I think I have a general gist of how this works. Shemar Stewart cannot go back to college in a simple, simplistic way. So normally, right, you go from college to the NFL. Once you go to the NFL, you lose your eligibility to go back to college. That's kind of where he's at right now. Now, keep this in mind, he can still, theoretically speaking, go back to college if he wins a legal battle. So, as it says here, there are the NCAA rules that forbids players from returning to college after they've been drafted, okay? So that's the big thing, right? You can't go back to college. Well, if he takes legal action on the Bengals and he challenges that, he could technically get back in. It's, again, different people have different answers on this. Some people say this would be a long, teeterous battle. It's not worth it. It's not going to work out in the end. And then there's other people saying, oh, no, this battle would actually work out pretty well for him, and he could get right back on there. So, if he did win this battle by a said point, I think there's a said date, he could go right back to Texas A&M and play this upcoming season. No issue at all, if he wins that battle. Now, again, depending on how long the battle is, depends on how long this would all shake out. It does say if Stewart successfully challenged and able to return, he would be eligible for the 2026 NFL Draft. Now, again, that's for next draft. Now, the second thing that is being said is he can sit out a season and not go back to college, but just sit out a season. If he sits out this upcoming year, the Bengals would lose their rights to him, and then he's allowed to re-enter the 2026 NFL Draft just like that. So he can not play this upcoming season, sit out, and then re-enter the draft. Or, option 2, fight the Bengals in court. And then, if he can get it done by reasonable time, go back to college and play for the Aggies, and then go back to the draft. Yeah. Those are the options. Or we could just sign him and get him signed and this whole situation goes away. But based on what we understand and what we're hearing, this is pure principle at this point. Like, this is pure principle. This is not a point where it's not as simple as, okay, we're going to go in the room and talk and then that's it. We're done. Like, this is as, like, you know what? You tried to do this to me. You tried to put this. You tried to make me the guinea pig here. Moving forward, I'm not allowing this. And, you know, there's going to have to be some kind of change in order for this not to happen again. Which is going to be a long process. Again, this is not going to be a short-term situation. Which I am just, like I said, class action lawsuit, anybody? Because, like, at this point, this is just so frustrating. Assuming Stewart does not pursue legal action, though, he has few other options outside of simply settling his contract dispute with the Bengals. For one, if the holdout lasts into the new league year, next March, he could re-enter the draft. Cincinnati would hold his rights until that point, and there has never been a real case like that, real case quite like that scenario. That's another thing. This has never happened before. I said it in my video yesterday, but I feel like if he did enter the NFL draft, the owners would come together and not draft him. No one would draft him. He would not get picked up as an undrafted guy. No one would give him a chance. The reason why is because they don't want this to happen again. This has never happened, okay? When the Brownies did what they did, where they give Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed contract, right now the NFL is getting in trouble. They're literally getting they're getting looked at for collusion because they all came together and said, we're not going to give Lamar Jackson a fully guaranteed contract. Everyone came together and made sure of it. The same situation would happen here with this situation if he re-enters the draft. Because what ends up happening is, if he re-enters the draft next year, right, and he gets drafted, let's say, second round, okay? Let's say second round. Another player in the future, that now opens up Pandora's box. Another player in the future might say, hey, I don't like the fact that I was the number 1 overall pick and I went to the worst team in football. I don't want to go there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-enter the draft. I'm just not going to play. And I'll just come out next year and get redrafted. And that opens up Pandora's box. And then you have more and more and more players doing that. Now you have a player who's a second round pick who believe they should have been a first round pick. I'm just not going to play. And I'm going to re-enter the draft next year because I think I should have been a first round pick. This is where you're creating a slippery slope. And these owners are going to come together and refuse to let this happen. This is why, again, I don't think he'll get drafted if he re-enters the draft next year. They're going to make an example out of him. Ironically enough, the Bengals try to do this with their language in the contract, but owners will if he does this. Anyway, but technically Stewart could not play football at all in 2025, stay in shape, re-enter the draft in 2026 NFL draft. If he did that, the Bengals would not be allowed to draft him again if the rookie doesn't sign their deal by Tuesday following week 10 of the season. They cannot play at all that season. Okay, so we can't draft him anyway. I thought low-key we were going to draft him again just to be petty and be like buttholes about it, but we can't even draft him, so it doesn't even matter. Perhaps slightly more likely is that Stewart could ask for a trade for the Bengals, seeking out another team to give him the contract language he's desiring. However, that would also have to come into fruition by early August, as the NFL rules says that a team can only trade a rookie at least 30 days from the start of the regular season. Okay, so you can only trade a rookie. Wait, hang on, hold up. It says that the team can only trade a rookie at least 30 days from the start of the regular season. Okay. So, yeah, we'd have to trade him like within the next 2 weeks. Which I don't think it's going to happen in any capacity. So based on the current NCAA/NFL rules, there are 3 routes for Shemar Stewart during his holdout, and returning to college isn't one of them. He could agree to the Bengals deal, request and potentially be granted, because again, this is another thing. Potentially be granted. The Bengals the front office could be just absolute cocky and arrogant and petty and say, we're not going to trade you. We want you on this team and we're not going to let you go. He could agree to the Bengals deal or hold out the entire 2025 season and re-enter the draft. So, returning to college, no. He could return to college. He just has to win a legal battle. Which is weird, because he just has to win a legal battle to return to college. He could do it. It just would be a process. So that's where we're at. I am fed up with the situation. I'll be honest with you. I am done with the situation. I want it to be over with. I don't know how we put ourselves in this situation, to be honest. But we did. Now we have to sit here and do whatever. Hopefully we figure something out, man. Class action lawsuit, baby. Let's go. Let's go, boys.